Selamat malam, saya senang sekali untuk hadir malam ini di sini, ya, dan juga melihat performance yang luar biasa dari Saman dan music performance dari CRCS dan teman-teman yang lain sebelumnya tadi. Ini malam yang sangat luar biasa bagi kita semua, ya, dan I just want to extend to you all very warm welcome on behalf of our joint committee of this public lecture and the workshop on institutionalization of interfaith mediation, which will be held during the rest of this week. Lembaga-lembaga tadi sudah disebutkan bersama, ada CRCS, ada MPRK, ada Tannenbaum, ada lembaga saya dari Maluku, ya, lembaga antar iman Maluku, dan seluruh sivitas akademis Gajah Mada University. So tonight we are honored to have Pastor James and Imam Safa. Could you please stand up? I just want to introduce you to the audience. Yeah. They are the two wonderful and inspiring peacemakers from Nigeria. Thank you. And they become please, thank you. They become a great icon globally for an interfaith-based peace building. We welcome you, Pastor and Imam, wholeheartedly to Indonesia for the very first time, right? Yeah. Together with those two gentlemen is our sister, Maria Ida Gugiento, which is called Ibu Deng. Used to be called Ibu Deng. Please stand up. Ibu Deng has been dedicating herself for more than 40 years, working for prevailing peace in her beloved country, Filipina, especially in the particular region of Mindanao and its surrounding area. She has a very rich experience to be shared during our workshop this week. Welcome back to Yogyakarta, Ibu Deng. Yeah, this is not the very first time for you, right? Yeah. Brothers and sisters, our three prominent guests are recipients of the Tannenbaum Peacemaker in Action Award for their total dedication to work in promoting peace and motivated by their faith. Their presence in Indonesia can enrich us with more evidences that religion can be a source of peace building. Religion can serve as a prime mover for peace building and reconciliation. This is what we want to achieve as a goal behind the main theme of the public lecture, when religion brings peace, not war. Ketika agama membawa damai dan bukan perang. Tannenbaum Center, as I mentioned before, is a center for interreligious understanding which is based in New York City. Ini lembaga non-sectarian dan non-profit organisasi that promotes mutual respect with practical programs that bridge religion differences and combat prejudice in school, workplace, healthcare setting, and areas of armed conflict. About the Peacemaker in Action Award, Tannenbaum Center regularly awards some peace workers around the world who are recognized for their total dedication in a faith-based peace-building intervention on the grassroots level. Tannenbaum memfasilitasi kedatangan Pastor James, Imam Safa, dan Ibu Deng di Indonesia as a part of Tannenbaum Peacemaker Intervention Program. That through this program, the peacemaker can support one another and share knowledge and skill in each other respected region. In this wonderful occasion, our joint committee requested me to express on their behalf, our thanks and deepest gratitude to Tannenbaum Center for Interreligious Understanding, and also to Tifa Foundation. Ibu Debra, could you please stand up? Tifa Foundation membantu kami untuk mendanai kegiatan di Jakarta maupun di sini. Thanks a lot, Ibu Debra and all friends from Tifa Foundation. And special thanks should be conveyed to the Gadjah Mada University untuk seluruh fasilitas dan yang diberikan, dan ruang ini malam ini adalah salah satu bukti dari dukungan Gadjah Mada University. Kita berikan tepuk tangan untuk teman-teman. Last but not least, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silence in honor our dearest friend, Pak Samsul Rizal Panggabean. Sorry, I a bit emotional. Pak Rizal bersama-sama dengan kami ya, sejak berbulan-bulan yang lalu, since a couple months ago, helping us, totally dedicated. Probably his last time of his life to support this program, support us in preparing everything prior to the coming of Imam Asaf and Pastor James. I truly believe if tonight, from far away, he will convey his typical smiling face to all of us, Bang Ichan, Mbak Jen, Mbak Dike, and all the committee, those who work together with Pak Rizal during the time. To him, we dedicated this event. Please have a moment of silence in honor of Samsul Rizal Panggabean. Thank you. May his spirit and struggle for peace also inspire us to move forward in the peace-building effort wherever we are. And finally, I wish you a wonderful night, and I wish you enjoy the public lecture. Hopefully, this lecture can help you to strengthen and inspire you to believe that religion can be used, religion can play a role for peace building. Thank you.
Thank you, Pendeta Jengki, I guess, for the wonderful opening and call for remembrance of our dearest professor, guru, and I guess friends. I would like to call, I guess, the next person in line. So please, Bu Debra Yatim, I guess the stage is also yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pastor James, Pak Imam Asyafa, Pak Manuputi, Ibu Dekan Pasca Sarjana, Pak Zen, Pak Iksan, Ibu Alisa, dan semua teman-teman yang hadir pada malam hari ini. Terima kasih banyak atas kehadiran. Saya mewakili Yayasan Tifa. Yayasan Tifa, nyontek dulu, adalah organisasi yang didirikan 17 tahun yang lalu. Nanti Desember ini kita akan merayakan ulang tahun ke-17. Kita kita memegang 4 nilai: kesetaraan, keterbukaan dulu, open society, kesetaraan, kedamaian, dan diskusi antar masyarakat. Kami sebagai Yayasan TIFA sangat terkejut dengan perkembangan Indonesia dalam 17 tahun terakhir ini. Kita selalu mengaku-ngaku bahwa kita adalah suatu masyarakat yang ramah, kita bisa diskusi, kita adalah negara yang masyarakat yang plural, dan ternyata hanya satu contoh saja, November, Desember, Januari barusan ini, hanya satu pilkada kita bisa menunjukkan bahwa kita adalah masyarakat yang terpecah belah. Dan saya kira sangat tepat waktu kedatangan yang difasilitasi oleh pusat dan lain-lain. Tepuk tangan untuk pusat dan juga untuk UGM. Saya tadi diskusi sebentar dengan Pak Zen. Di seluruh Indonesia, negara yang katanya pluralis ini, cuma satu universitas yang mau bahas tentang antar iman dan peace building. Hebat sekali Gajah Mada. Kita sebuah negara yang 72 tahun tidak terpikir bahwa ini adalah satu fondasi yang terus-menerus harus kita bangun, karena sudah terbukti pemicunya kecil saja kita bisa terpecah belah sampai begini lamanya. Imam Asyafa, Pak Imam, Pastor James, thank you so much for coming here to Indonesia. We sincerely hope that you can give us some lessons for us to inspire us on our journey to reach peace, to continue our dialogue between faiths and religions, and also for us to build a better future for Indonesia, learning from the lessons that you bring from Nigeria. Dan saya kira pelajaran yang kita bisa petik dari diskusi 3 hari mendatang ini adalah diskusi yang akan melahirkan suatu diskursus baru di Indonesia. Saya sangat mengharap, kami di TIFA sangat mengharapkan itu, karena sebagaimana terus-menerus dikatakan oleh Pak Iksan dari Pusat Paramadina, peace, damai itu bukan sesuatu yang terberi. Kita mestinya tidak, karena damai lalu tidak usah dibahas lagi ya Pak Iksan. Kita harus mempelajari ada apa sampai sebuah masyarakat bisa terus-menerus damai. Jadi tidak hanya menyorot konflik yang terjadi, tapi kita harus juga menyorot damainya. Damai, saya latar belakangnya wartawan, kami di media selalu berpegang pada satu moto. Good news is no news. Jadi kalau baik-baik maka tidak ada berita. Bad news is news. Yang buruk-buruk baru itu berita. Ternyata di dalam diskusi perdamaian hal yang sama terjadi. Jadi apabila damai maka tidak ada hal yang perlu kita pelajari. Apabila konflik kita jungkir balik mencari dana dari internasional, termasuk TIFA ikut mencoba menggalang dana itu, dan lalu kita jungkir balik selama 4 tahun untuk menemukan apa penyebab konflik tersebut. Nanti kalau udah damai, lupa lagi ya Pak Iksan ya. Jadi insya Allah pada malam hari ini, besok, lusa, dan hari Jumat, kemudian dilanjutkan di Jakarta. Mudah-mudahan kita akan mendapat pemicu wacana-wacana yang menarik, yang menjadi buah kajian bagi kita semua untuk kita mulai menapaki lagi jalan terjal menuju perdamaian yang abadi. Terima kasih banyak, selamat berdiskusi dan selamat berlokakarya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ibu Debra. I guess last but not least, I would like to invite Ibu Profesor Dr. Siti Malkamah step up to the stage and share us your remark. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening. I'm very pleased to welcome you all to Universitas Gajah Mada, to Yogyakarta, to Indonesia. We are honored to have Imam Ashafa and Pastor James Wuye from Nigeria to share their experiences and also their knowledge to help us build a peaceful world. And many thanks for both of you. And also we would like to thank Ibu Alisa Wahid, Ibu Deng from the Philippines, and Bapak Jackie Manuputi, Ibu Debra Yatim from Tifa Foundation, Bapak Ihsan from Paramadina, and we are happy that we have a Center for Religious and Cross-Cultural Studies in our school. We have some study programs, and we do hope that with these public lectures, this meeting and also discussion will inspire us, and we can work together and also help each other to build peaceful world. And we do hope that you will have an enjoyable stay in Yogyakarta, and when you back to your city or your country, you will have safe journey or flight. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Ibu Dekan untuk sambutannya. I believe that some of the scholars involved in the committee have prepared a book with similar title to our public lecture today. And I'd like to invite the following people to come up to the stage one more time before we really begin the session. To receive some of the books from Pak Ihsan Ali Fauzi, Direktur Pusat Paramadina. So I would like to invite Imam Ashafa to come to the stage, as well as Pastor James and Ibu Maria Ida Gigento. Ibu Deng, silahkan please come up to the stage as well. Ibu Dekan Siti Malhamah, mari saya undang ke panggung. Dan terakhir tentu saja moderator kita Mbak Alisa Wahid dan Ibu Elga juga. Maaf Bu, saya lupa. Silahkan Ibu ke panggung. Dan tentu saja Pak Ihsan untuk memberikan buku hasil karyanya kepada tamu-tamu kita yang terhormat di depan panggung.
Can I just say a few words, if I may? Satu menit.
Sure, ya.
Teman-teman sekalian, assalamualaikum, selamat malam. Saya senang sekali berada di sini. Saya mau menyampaikan dua pesan pokok buku ini. There are two messages, main messages from the book. Satu, we want to learn from Imam Ashafa and Pastor James. Thank you for coming, Pak Imam and Ashafa dan Pak Pastor James. Yang saya mau pelajari, yang kita akan mendengarkan lebih banyak di sini adalah bahwa hidup mereka adalah bukti bahwa agama bukan saja menjadi sumber kekerasan, tapi juga yang lebih penting adalah sumber daya perdamaian. Ya. Yang kedua, kita seringkali tidak adil dalam pikiran. Kita maunya dapat perdamaian, tetapi kita nggak pernah mempelajari perdamaian. Ibu Debra tadi mengakui bahwa yang dia tulis sebagai media massa ya, if bleeds maka dia adalah jadi news dia. Good news is bad news ya. Jadi kalau ada perkelahian baru wartawan ngeliput gitu ya. Nah, sayangnya riset-riset perdamaian juga seperti itu. Orang maunya perdamaian, tapi yang di research ya, yang dibikin sebagai skripsi perang melulu gitu. Jadi the fact bahwa kita punya damai itu sebenarnya harus dipelajari. Dia adalah satu proses dan proses itu bisa dipelajari dan harus dipelajari. Peace itu bukan hanya peacemaking atau peacekeeping, tetapi juga adalah peace building. Oke, itu aja 2 poin saya, karena saya tahu saya sedang tidak ngajak diskusi malam ini. Saya dengan bangga ingin kasih buku ini, dan the book is also dedicated to my dearest friend, ya. Mudah-mudahan saya nggak, udah. Teman baik saya udah 30 tahun, Rizal Panggabean, ya. Semoga saya kira dia senang dengan melihat apa yang terjadi malam ini dan apa yang akan dilanjutkan oleh Dike dan teman-temannya, ya. Sekarang izinkan saya jarang-jarang ini membagi buku ke ibu-ibu dan bapak yang mulia. Dulu ya. Bukunya keren, ya. Bukunya bisa diakses secara gratis di website Pusat Madinah. But if you really want to read the printed stuff, it's available out there. Yep. Terima kasih ya.
Thank you, Pak Isan. So, the main event of the main lecture of tonight's event, we will be having Mbak Alisa Wahid as our moderator. Some of us know her as koordinator jaringan Gus Durian, some of us know her as pro-democracy activist, some of us know her as psychologist. She's a woman of many functions, I guess, and that only testifies to her, many capabilities. And for tonight, we will ask you to channel your moderating capabilities. So I will invite, I would like to invite Mbak Alisa to come up to the stage and start the joint lecture by our Imam and our pastor.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat malam Bapak Ibu sekalian yang ada di depan dan teman-teman, supaya saya sama ukuran usianya. Bapak Ibu sekalian dan teman-teman, saya sama mudanya dengan teman-teman sekalian. Malam hari ini kita akan belajar ya. Kita nggak perlu lama-lama ya, karena sudah cukup malam dan kita mau cepat-cepat untuk belajar. Ketika agama membawa damai bukan perang. Belajar dari Imam Asofa dan Pastor James. Saya sebetulnya sangat ingin bertanya kepada Mas Ihsan, kenapa ketika agama membawa damai bukan perang? Berarti kan ini rumus dasarnya agama membawa perang. Lalu ketika agama membawa damai beda gitu. Itu satu pertanyaan, tapi nggak akan kita jawab sekarang. Kita kedatangan tamu yang istimewa, 2 tokoh yang dari tadi sudah disebutkan berulang-ulang dan teman-teman semua datang hadir ke sini untuk mendengarkan beliau berdua, 2 agamawan tapi mantan milisi. Kebalik kalau di Indonesia biasanya agamawan dulu baru jadi milisi gitu. Kalau ini milisi lalu jadi agamawan begitu ya. Harusnya yang itu yang kita suruh dengar gitu. I'm really sorry, it's our secret. Nah, saya mau kasih tahu, sebelum kita mulai, saya mau kasih tahu rahasia jadi pembicara. Ya, rahasia jadi pembicara adalah pembicara itu semangat kalau audiensnya semangat. Itu rumus, serius. Kalau audiensnya gini, pembicaranya juga ikut bingung. Dia akan blocking dan tidak bisa menyampaikan apa. Orang berdua ini ilmunya banyak, tapi butuh bantuan kita untuk mengeluarkan. Gitu. Nah, yang saya minta dari mbak-mbak, mas-mas kalian, kalau ngantuk keluar aja, yang di dalam yang semangat. Gitu, oke? Jangan di dalam kalau mau ngantuk, ya. Nah, untuk ngetesnya, nanti pada saat saya memanggil beliau berdua, tolong kasih aplausnya yang panjang gitu. Yang semangat, panjang, serius, bikin mereka bingung. Ini apa sih gitu, tapi akhirnya jadi semangat begitu kan. Gitu ya. Nah, kita coba dulu ya. Kita tepuk tangan, bukan tepuk tanganin saya. Mari kita tepuk tangan sesemangat mungkin untuk Mas Samsurizal Panggabean. Yuk, semangat terus. Karena beliau lagi kurang panjang. Oke, terima kasih. Nanti lebih panjang lagi boleh. Tetapi kita semua ada di sini tidak lepas dari kontribusi beliau selama ini untuk perdamaian di Indonesia maupun khusus untuk acara ini. Jadi ya wajar kalau kita semua memberikan apresiasi kepada apa yang beliau tinggalkan untuk kita semua ya. Nah terus sebelum mulai yang berikutnya, masih ada satu pesan lagi. Saya tahu, saya ini psikolog, jadi saya tahu di antara teman-teman ada yang nggak ngerti bahasa Inggris. Benar? Nah, pura-pura ngerti ya, pura-pura ngerti. Minta dikasih tahu sama sebelahnya, itu tadi ngomong apa gitu. Pakai HP juga nggak apa-apa. Tetapi untuk membantu, tolong teman-teman manfaatkan waktu sebentar saat ini. Saya akan berikan waktu untuk menuliskan apapun yang ingin teman-teman pelajari dari Imam Asofa dan Pastor James. Tuliskan, bahasa Indonesia boleh, bahasa Inggris lebih baik lagi. Nanti akan dikolek oleh teman-teman panitia ya, teman-teman panitia akan mengkoleknya. Sekarang silahkan tuliskan, pengen belajar apa sih? Just in case nanti waktu saya minta teman-teman untuk bertanya, teman-teman malu gitu, karena nggak bisa ngomongnya. Ini buat teman-teman yang malu. Kalau teman-teman yang tidak punya malu, nggak apa-apa. Nanti boleh langsung. Gitu. Oke, silakan menuliskan dulu. Sambil dengerin saya ngomong, bisa nggak? Nggak bisa ya? Ya sudah. Silakan menulis dulu. Oke, selesai tidak selesai, tolong dikumpulkan. Ini karena audiensi anak muda, kita bikinnya yang inilah ya. Sudah? Bukan ujian, tidak ada yang benar, tidak ada yang salah, nggak perlu takut membuat pertanyaan harus yang benar. Silakan apa saja yang teman-teman ingin belajar dari Pastor James dan Imam Asofa. Oke, kalau sudah selesai silakan menengok ke kanan atau ke kiri. Di ujung sana ada panitia-panitia yang siap untuk mengumpulkan input-input dari Anda. Kalau nanti tidak terbahas ya siapa tahu dibahas dengan cara-cara yang lain gitu. Oke, so let us start our session, our learning session. We are blessed today to have the chance to learn about peace building from the legendary Imam and Pastor from Nigeria, it should be Nigeria, right? Nigeria or Nigeria. They both have transformed the landscape of Nigeria from those of terrors and hatred and devastation to those of hope and solidarity and peace and prosperity. Their stories have been shared around the globe. Their stories have inspired other people in conflict areas and other peace builders. We have just learned from Ibu Deng about how the people in Marawi, the pastors in Marawi and the imams, young pastors and young imams in Marawi inspired by Imam Asafa and Pastor James, stories that they started their own peace building process, how they apologize to each other, how they learn to be at peace with one another from their inspiration. Imam Asafa and Pastor James started their stories as militias, as active participants of the conflict. How they transformed themselves from this beginning into actively working for peace. That's what we are trying to learn tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Imam Muhammad Asafa and Pastor James Kuliah. Ayo bikin bingung. Please. Udah kelihatan bingung belum? Belum. Yuk, cepat. Okay, please have a seat. Terima kasih ya Bapak Ibu sekalian. Udah bingung nih beliau berdua. Pastor James and Imam Asafa, Ibu Debra mentioned that you both come at the right times, at the right moments of Indonesia. For the last year, we have witnessed how religious sentiments are used, are growing, are put in the open, and started to divide and to polarize the communities. Indonesia, that has been dubbed as the model of harmony, social harmony, especially religious harmony, have seen some hateful and prejudices coming from different religions. So all of us here we are all willing learners. We are all willing students, and we know that you both have extensive experience, so of course, I cannot ask you to share this or that. I would just ask you to share whatever you think is needed by the Indonesians to learn from your experience. Can I ask you to share your story right now? Who wants to start? Pastor James? Okay, Pastor James Kuliah. Okay, Pastor James Kuliah he started as a militia, right? Until he lost. You would tell the story later. I would not be the storyteller for you. So I'll just present this microphone for you. You want to stand out there? Okay. Oh, we need some standing.
Okay. Actually, that's a talking stick, and this is another talking stick. So let me use the standing one, Your Excellency. Okay. Yes. Oh my God, this is really tall. In Nigeria, I would like to start by saying peace be with you. It's a greeting that is from the two faiths. Jesus Christ, which is Isa alayhi salam, told his disciples, when you go to a house, say to the occupants of that house, peace be with you. And if there are people of peace in that house, they will return your greetings to you. But I think the current generation of Christians have forgotten that salutation that Jesus gave. And what they do is, hi, hello. But Jesus says, say, salama alaikum. In his language, he will say, shalom aleika. So you see, both faiths believe in the greetings of peace. May I say we are so honored today to be in this auspicious place and an occasion in respect of the people of this great nation, particularly in honor of our father who stood tenaciously with all his strength to ensure that this occasion take place. Would have been here earlier, but due to the fact that my colleague Imam need to perform Hajj, and he was also not just performing Hajj as in Hajj, he was also leading a delegation alongside the supreme religious leader of Nigerian Muslims, Sultan Abu Bakr III, who had graciously requested Imam to join him on the Hajj. And that's why we did not come when we were supposed to come the last time. So our apology, but he went for a divine assignment. Having said that, I wouldn't want to miss the protocols. So in Nigeria, if you are careful not to miss the protocol and not to call the people's name in error, you say, please permit me, Madam Chair, and everyone here to observe the standing protocols as enshrined in the guidelines for today's meeting. Am I permitted? Thank you very much. I thought that I should just say something, but what shall I say to such young people, the future of this great nation, a nation that is the largest Islamic nation in terms of population in the whole world? What shall I tell them? Then it dawned on me that I should just share my experience. And I'm saying, you have seen the DVD, but the DVD just tells a little, because that film you saw is 25 hours of recording summarized into 39 minutes. Today, in this great country, I have come to say that peace brings riches. Riches bring greed. Greed brings anger. Anger brings poverty. And poverty, anger brings war. And war brings poverty. And poverty brings humanity. And humanity brings peace. It is a cycle. You are enjoying peace and prosperity in this nation. Don't try war. My view today, many view and understand conflict majorly from the context as on several variables, which may include, among others, like culture, identity, social class, race, profession, nationality, environmental people, conscious people, gender, peer groups, religion, ethnicity, politics, economics, and resource control, among others. Many people see conflict as evil and negative. Nothing good is said about conflict. Over the years, as I traverse the length and breadth of this troubled world, I realize that conflict is not necessarily evil. Our handling style usually is faulty. Looking back at my life experience as a young man, I have been engaged in negative ways of handling conflict, which led to my losing an arm in my efforts to say I am protecting the church against my Muslim colleagues and neighbors, which then I perceived as my enemies. I regret my past. I wish I knew this. I wouldn't have lost my hands, and many wouldn't have died because our handling styles were faulty. Trying to handle conflicts with violence, I did negative things using confrontational approach, and the adverse effects of that creates more hate, resentment, segregation, compartmentalization of my society, and fear. If I had known what I have known today, I would have responded differently. Which is to be that I would have been a champion of interfaith collaboration. I pray that none of you will pass through the pains and the anger that I have, that created hate in me, that made me hate my brothers before. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I love my Muslim brothers with a passion, because Christ said, "Push you love." We have challenges, brothers and sisters, when we want to do interfaith. We are misconstrued as amalgamating the two faiths. You know, from the Christian point of view, there are some myopic thinkers who think you should not relate with anybody. They are one-way traffic. But Jesus Christ has instructed that you should do unto others what you want others to do unto you. And he says that is the summation of the law and the prophets. And then he further says, except we overcome hate in our minds, resentment, ethnic diversity, racial diversity, will not get into the kingdom of God. It is clearly every Christian who wants to go to heaven must love his neighbor and pursue peace. And that's where I want to read for you before I continue. He says here in the Bible, in Hebrew chapter 12, verse 14 to 15, it says clearly, strive to live in peace with everybody and pursue that consecration and holiness without which no man can see the Lord. If you are a Christian, you want to go to heaven, follow peace. If you want to go to Jahannama, follow fitna. The word of God says here, exercise foresight and be on watch to look after one another. See that no one fall back from and fail to secure God's grace, unmerited favor, spiritual blessings, in order that no root of resentment, rancor, bitterness, or hate shoots forth and cause trouble and bitter torment, that many become contaminated and defiled by it. My anger, I transfer to you. You begin to hate somebody that you don't know. You are springing the root of bitterness. That should not be had among you. And it says, when you spring it, some will be contaminated. Now, looking at the perspective of the prospect of peace, I have just read for you a few verses that encourage every Christian, mandatory, by all means necessary, to follow peace with all humanity. Whether they are Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Confucianism, Zoroastrianism, all the isms in the world, follow peace with them. And then when you follow peace, practice holiness, purity, sincerity, unselfishness. Then your pains, don't transfer. Keep it to yourself. Process it. Because when you transfer, root of bitterness grow. And when it grows, those who will take action will miss going to see the Almighty God by your reasons. And he says, if by any means you will cause these little ones to fail and fall short of the glory of going to Al-Jannah, it's better we put a rope and put stone on you and dip you in the sea. The fish should feast on you if you will cause the little ones to pay. So how do we handle this? There are roadblocks. What stops us from getting the egalitarian, peaceful, harmonious society? It's a one, sectionalism. I am from this section, you are from that section. These beautiful princesses that came and danced here, I'm told they are from a region, and in harmony, at the end, they built a network of ropes, binding them together as a people. What a beautiful symbolic way of presenting our diversity, and which should be the source of strength. Collective and individual unhealed memories. Some of you are carrying memories that are not yours. They were transferred by your parents, your sisters, your pastors, your mullahs. They say, these people are that and those are that. And they transfer. They treated you this way. And so you begin to hate. It's not your fight. It was the fight of your parents. Let them carry their garbage to the grave. Live a new way and unite with your brother. Because love is infectious. If you give love, you get love. If you give hate, hate follows you. Preach love. Infectious love. Spread the virus of love and unity. Pride. I am greater. He is lower. You know we have something in the two faiths. They are all competing for souls. You know, in Islam, sorry Imam, oh, where are you? Oh, okay. Islam says, according to Imam who taught me, the only true religion is Islam. And then you go to Matthew chapter 14, verse 1, down to 5, it says, believe in God, believe also in me, says Jesus Christ. I go to prepare for you a place. After I prepare for you a place, I'll come and take you to where I am. Where I am, there you will be also. I go to prepare a mansion. When I come back, I will pick you, say Jesus. And then Thomas asked Jesus, where is the way? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Now the only true religion is Islam. And Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. You see, we are all professing genuinity of faith. So we don't need to fight about this. It's like somebody marketing Coca-Cola and the other one is marketing Pepsi-Cola. They are all colas. So when you go to the gate of Al-Jannah, it is your good works. Jesus said we should not talk about the faith. We should live the faith. He said, if I be lifted up, I will draw men unto myself. It is not saying that you are a Christian. No. Are you living a Christian life? I'm talking to Christians. Maybe Imam will talk to the Muslims. Imam, I have 11 minutes. I know. I'm watching the time. These people are quite tricky, you know. Injustice. Injustice is a problem. You do unto others, not as others you want others to do unto you. You see, there is injustice. So if today I get a lot of batiks and I give it to Imam, and I did not give it to my friend, Jackie. Jackie will say this is what? Injustice. Justice means do unto others equality what you did to the others. And there will be no challenge in the world. Religion will not be a problem. People don't want to repent. And there are issues again about dogmatism in religion. This is how it was from the days of John the Baptist. The kingdom of God suffered violence. People will say, we must do it like it was before. But I think in the concept of our faith, the context we are today is slightly different from the context that was there before. Before there was no tablet like this. There was no phone. There were horses and camels. There were caravans. But now we fly in the air. And my friend even told me that when you're in the air, you can pray whatever position you follow in the air, like it's like sitting on the camel and you don't know the direction of the Qibla. So this is contemporary religion. We should live as young people who have the future. We are not saying compromise your faith, no. Live your faith with the other in mind. Dichotomies, rivalry, poor communication. Some don't know how to talk. One single talk can set this country ablaze. How do you talk with the other in mind? Do no harm. In whatever you do, do no harm. If you want to say something to somebody, communicate in a non-violent way, and you get the person listening to you. And of course, Imam told me, he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, when you are dealing with other people of other faith, talk to them with nice words, kind words. But when you say to me, kufr, I say, okay, I go, kufr, you too, kufr. That is a violent communication. Avoid violent communication. These are the challenges of interfaith dialogue. It says you have resentment, we have cultural and religious complex. Our people are superior, you are inferior. If you bring that to dialogue or interfaith challenges, you will not win. You will not get your brother or sister to listen to you. You know, in my country, and even in my own dialect, Bagi, we say the people of the north are not cultured. This is one dialect. And the people of the south are more experienced and more civilized. You dare not tell the person of the north he's not cultured, because that is like a hate speech. When you avoid hate speech, we will enjoy. Like I'm avoiding eating all my time. Did you get that? Resource and greed. Fear of the future. People begin to steal money, corruption, because they fear tomorrow they may not have it. I'm glad our sister here, her father was the leader of this country. They lived a simple life. Both her and her sister, her siblings and others, they live a simple life. You know, to be somebody on that level and to mix with people, it is not common in Africa, but here you are very good people. You mingle with everybody. And I want to salute my sister for being that humble. Because the Bible says, if you are humble, I'll raise you up. Negative solidarity. Even you are doing wrong, but because you belong to my faith, I join you to protect you. But I know you are doing wrong. That will cause problems to interfaith dialogue. Poor communication style. I say avoid hate and dangerous speech. My colleague and I are working. Right now we are giving the federal government of Nigeria a sample of hate, religious tolerance bill that will handle issues of hate and dangerous speeches. One pastor can set Nigeria ablaze if he talks derogatory against Islam. One mullah can set Nigeria ablaze if he talks derogatory against Christianity. We used to fight like that. We don't check. Now you all dress the same except for the ladies. You can know a Muslim lady by her dress, but the men, I don't know who is a Muslim, who is a Christian. But back home, because of our dress system, when there is fight between Christians and Muslims, we don't ask. We just look at the dress and think he's a Muslim, I support him if I'm a Muslim. And think he's a Christian, he supports him if he thinks it. That is negative solidarity. When your brother does one thing, correct him in love. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15 to 19 to 17 says, go to your brother in secret and advise him so that he stop doing the evil. And my friend told me that Islam permits you to stop somebody who is doing evil that will affect the whole people. And Christianity also has given instruction that we should watch out for those who cannot tame the tongue. I have 6 minutes to go. Blessed are those who keep their message short, for they shall be called again. As an ambassador of the golden rule that I shared with you, these are what the religious leaders should do quickly. We must lead like Christ if you are a religious person. You must be actively engaged in community work. You should not just be preaching. When there is rubbish in the community, engage. Join hands with your Muslim. Join hands with the Buddhist. Join hands with the Hindu. And stop the death in the land. As a religious leader, if you are here, you must live a modest life. You don't show up wealth. If you want to show wealth, give it to the poor. That is how to show wealth. Share with those who have none. That is Christianity as a leader. We should be transparent and be role models in obedience to the people and the authority. Every religious leader who do not have his travelers, what we call it, car, here people don't cheat, you know. Here you always pay, get your license, it does not expire. Police don't stop you. A religious leader must make sure he pays his bill as at when due. Must be an example to others. Don't cheat. Observe all forms of rule. Obey all lawful laws. And be strong against injustice. A religious leader must do that. Be courageous and hold on to the government accountable. If the government is not doing well as a religious leader, you should speak to the government in humility, not to fight them because you are not a politician. We must shun all forms of materialism and flamboyant lifestyle. I've said that. Finally, I like to share what Pope Imam used to call him his Pope. Imam called late Pope John Paul. He used to give pontifical messages every year. In 1990, he said, peace with God, the Creator, is peace with God's creation. In 1991, he said, if you want peace, respect the conscience of every person. In 1993, he said, believers united in building bridges across our hearts. In 1994, if you want peace, reach out to the poor. That is Pope John Paul saying. Pope John Paul also said, the family creates the peace of the human family. Women, teachers of peace. He had a message for women in 1995. In 1996, he said, let us give children the future of peace. So we have come here to share with you a future of peace. And you are like our children. Some of you are our daughters and sons by age and even by other things. Offer forgiveness and receive peace. If you want peace, offer forgiveness first. And you will get peace in return. He says, from justice on earth comes peace for all. If there is justice in the world, Pope John Paul says there is peace for all in the world. Dialogue between cultures for the civilization of love and peace. That is 2001. I'm really rushing now. 2002 said, no peace without justice, no justice without peace. In 2003, he said, he spoke in one language. He called it Pacem in terris, means a permanent commitment to peace. An ever-timely commitment teaching peace. 2000, do not overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. That was 2005. In truth and peace in 2006. 2007, human person, the heart of peace. 1 minute, 17 seconds. Fighting poverty to build peace. Then he says, if you want to cultivate peace, protect creation. That means be an environmentalist. Religion and freedom, the path to peace. His last message to the world before he went to heaven is, he said, educating young people in justice and peace. That was his last message before he transited. And when Imam went to his tomb in the Vatican, he saw him buried like a Muslim. There was no stone, it was just earth. And that's why Imam called him his own bishop. So, having said this, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to say, you as a Christian is the salt of the earth. But if salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown down, out, and be trampled under the foot by men. If you want peace, be the salt of the world. Show love to your brothers, sisters, uncles, auntie. Obey the law of the land, and you shall prosper. Blessed are those who stop exactly at 25 minutes, for they shall be invited again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for. So we set up this small layar untuk membantu pembicara kita melihat waktunya tinggal berapa lama begitu. Jadi beliau mengikuti sampai 25 menit jatahnya. So thank you very much for sharing about peace and how you reminded us that Pope John Paul, he was a very respected leader in his time, focused his messages on peace year after year after year after year. And one of the message was no peace without justice, no justice without peace. It reminded me of my father, who always said that peace without justice is just an illusion. That's Gus Dur's word. perdamaian tanpa keadilan hanyalah ilusi, demikian kata Gus Dur. And okay, let's not waste more time. Would you like to speak from here or also standing there? Imam. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, a round of applause to Imam Asafa. Is taller. This is what we call serving leader. You show respect by serving others.
ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري وأعلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هو الأحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه تابعين وبلسان إلى يوم الدين. وبعد, distinguished brothers and sisters, I greet you with the greeting of peace by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. It simply means, may the peace and blessing of Almighty Allah be with you all. Today is a very important day, a very important moment in our history, in our journey of life. I want to thank Almighty Allah, first and foremost, for fulfilling a dream that I have for quite a long time. And I want to thank the Tannenbaum Center for Interreligious Understanding for facilitating the process at our Global Peacemakers in Action Network, when our brother Jackie and the others then choose that they want us to come to both here during the last retreat. They want us to be here in Indonesia and Philippines. We are talking by the riverside and New York City, facing the United Nations and saying, what do we need to do to make our world a safer place? Yes, we don't have money, we don't have government, but we have our will, ability, the willingness to move. And within the little chain we have, we're able to make this journey successful with our brothers, our teams, and all the networks here who have made this thing possible. If not for them, this thing wouldn't have been possible. I want to say thank you. And of course, this university who hosted this, if the university didn't host it, I know how much it costs to rent this hall in the 5-star hotel to be able to host these important programs. I want to say thank you to the university community. And to our brother who have just transit from our midst. It is really painful when you find good people are getting away from us. So we want to say, may his soul rest in peace. Distinguished brothers and sisters, the subject today, this is my 60th nation. I've traveled in the journey of my life, sharing my experience as a peacemaker. So it was a great thing to have number 60 as Indonesia in my diary. 60 is a good number in Islam. We know that. Distinguished brothers and sisters, the subject of discussion is interfaith peacemaking or peace building. What are the prospects and challenges from an Islamic perspective? What are the prospects and challenges of peacemaking? And in addressing this subject, I classified the subject into 5 important components. First and foremost is looking at religion today. In the last 100 years, how do people view religion? The second important component, I look at the 2 models that are being profiled as a solution to address religious violence. Thirdly, I look at the Islamic perspective within these 2 models. Which one does Islam support? And fourthly, what are the prospects of these important initiatives? What are the challenges confronting these initiatives? And finally, what are the way forward? Not only for us as Muslims, for us as members of the global family. My fellow brothers and sisters, today religion is seen as part of the problem facing the human family. Either you look at Islam from what is happening in the Middle East or in Asia, and you look at what is affecting the Buddhists, what the Buddhists are doing with the Buddhist monk in Myanmar and in other parts of the world, or you look back into history of what the Hindus have done and others, you find no option but to agree that Islam, religion as a whole, has become a breeding ground for violent extremism, terrorism, division, and war within and across our nation. The name of God has been used in killing and maiming the creations of God, and within major religion. And I give some example of some members of various religious communities who have engaged in this. In Hinduism, we will talk about the famous saffron terror. When we talk of saffron terror, terrorism in the name of Hinduism, which consequences in the 1990s led to the destruction of Ayodhya, the brick massacre in Ayodhya, and the murder of Mahatma Gandhi, whose life is an embodiment of religious motivated personality who have changed the history of the world without taking the sword, under the Satyagraha concept. But he lost his life to a Hindu terrorist who feel he's not getting it right. Number two, we look at Sikhism. Sikhs supposed to be one of the most non-violent religion in the world. But we know in 1985, when the Sikh in the search of state of Kasiltan were alleged to have bombed an Air India, which take off from India, and from Canada going to India in 1985. This should tell you terrorism within the Sikhs as a non-violent religion, a vegetarian sort of religious institutions. Buddhism, we almost remember in Buddhist culture, is a culture of non-violence. It's a vegetarian culture. It's a culture that respects everything. But today, the 969 Buddhist movement, 969 is a coded word that defines the attribute and the value of Buddha. But today, that name is used to commit atrocity that I don't need to mention. It's just all over there in your paper and social media. Not only that alone, we know that within that, we know the case of the Rohingya ongoing now. When you look at Shintoism, in Shinto/Confucian, the two mixed together in Japan, we know the sarin gas disaster that happened some years back, the sarin gas in Tokyo under the train, where one religious community decided, one religious groups decided to blow off and throw gas to blow off people. When you look at Baha'ism, cyber terrorism, Baha'i is also a concept of supposed to be of non-violent religion. A little of this, a little of that put together to make Baha'i faith. But today, cyber terrorism, the alleged cyber terrorism by Iran on members of Baha'i faith and their extradition or excommunication is a key important factor we need to look at. Say, are they doing this in the name of the Lord Baha or Baha'u'llah? Then we go back to Judaism. We should remember the Shatila massacre in Lebanon and the murder of President Rabin, Shak Rabin, the president of Israel, who signed the peace treaty, the Camp David Accord with Yasser Arafat. He paid with his price. Who murdered him? Within his own tradition. And we should always remember, not only that in Judaism, in Christianity, we have other experiences we need to mention. The story of Timothy McVeigh, who blew off Oklahoma City bombing in India, or in Oklahoma, or the case of this young man from Norway, a Norwegian, who want to purify Europe by throwing away all other garbages of religion and making Europe a plain Christian civilization that led to the death of over 74 people. The case is still ongoing. And when you come to Islam, and apart from that, you can see a lot of other different things, and who murdered Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King has given his life. For what? For the cause of nonviolence. But he lost his life for James. One James, not this James anyway. James Ray is the guy who murdered Martin Luther King. Distinguished brothers and sisters, and in the household of Islam, I don't need to tell you, you have a clear experience of what happened in the Bali bombing. Before the Bali bombing, we always say the largest, most populous Muslim nation is a model of coexistence. No bombing, no this, no that, until the Bali bombing happens. And then I don't have any excuse to use Indonesia as a model. But still, it is a model. Because you keep it on, you don't make sure that pull you down. Distinguished brothers and sisters, we know that in Islam, apart from Bali bombing, suicide bombing, there's a lot of what we call suicide bombing missions in different parts of the world. From Afghanistan to the Middle East, to Asia, to what is happening specifically in Europe today, and across other parts of the world. The murder of Anwar al-Sadat is also another important thing to say in Egypt. How did they murder such a man who have lived his life as a father of the nation, moving the nation forward? But in the hand of a Muslim terrorist, he lost his life. So therefore, today, Islam is hijacked by various forces. But they seem to be representing Islam. But Quran chapter 2, verse 8 to verse 12, Quran chapter 2, verse 8 to 12 says they are not Muslims. They claim to be peacemakers. They claim to be reconcilers who want to reconcile us with God, but they are far from their traditions. This is just a clear, important we need. So in every religion, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, the bad, and the ugly within our religious traditions. And who are the good? The ideal religious leaders are the good people. They don't mess up themselves. They see every life as sacred. They see God in everything they do. And the second category are the bad, who are the incapable religious leaders. They are not perfect. They are just learning. They are just in the university level. They've not even graduated from university. They become imams, and they love giving fatwa. You know, they are the Gogu fatwa imams. The Gogu fatwa imams, the social media fatwa imams. They just go to social media and give a fatwa against anybody or anything they don't like. And people start acting on their fatwa, where they have no capability to do so. No authority is given to them to do that. Then we have the mischievous religious leaders, who are the ugly one. They are moving encyclopedia of Islam. But because of the greed in their heart, they transform. They only halal or haramize. They haramize the halal and halalize the haram. These are people, we need to be very careful about them. But these are people who have hijacked Islam. So when you talk about peace as a Muslims, people say, what are you talking about? Come on, keep quiet. You can't tell us something about peace here because we didn't see that. Distinguished brothers and sisters, based on these challenges within the world, in the end of the 19th century, two important events happened. The first event was by the Western secularists, thinkers. They say we need to do something about this religion that is causing the death and life of people. We need to lock it up and put it inside the box. We must remove religion out of public life. If we remove it out of public life, it must not be displayed or demonstrated. And they try. Secularize the whole society, throw away religion. Religions have no space in public discourse. And when they did that, according to Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, who was the president of the Jewish community in United Kingdom, he brings out an assertion, a clear what that word says. He says, when they concluded, they wrote a statement. And one of the statements said they've captured religion, they produce alternative to religion. To remove the influence of religion in our heart, they produce what we say, an alternative. What is the alternative? Listen. This says, and I quote from Jonathan Sacks' book, Not in God's Name. Not in God's Names. Look for that book. He says, we no longer need the Bible to explain the universe. Instead, we have science. We do not need sacred rituals to control human destiny. Instead, we have technology. When we are ill, we do not need prayers. but we have doctors and surgery. If we are depressed, there is alternative to religious consolation. We have antidepressant drugs. When we feel overwhelmed with guilt, we can choose psychotherapy in place of confession. You know, the pastor, you go to the pastor for confession of sin. You as a Muslim, you do astaghfirullah in your room. You don't need astaghfirullah. You don't need to go to the Pope or to the bishop for confessions. All you need to do is just go and sit down and take psychotherapy. For seeker of transcendence, who want to see beyond today, who want to see what is in the future, what is in eternity, he says, there are rock concerts and sport matches everywhere that will take you into ecstasy. You know, when you watch sport, football, all this football you watch, you shout and you feel that you're on top of the world. Distinguished brothers and sisters, if not for time, I will give you a short story of a man who was so happy because of the football. His club has won. His wife was talking to him. He didn't listen. The wife just go and stay on the camera. She on the front of the television. She blocked the TV. I'm talking to you. He got angry when he rise up. He picked her up and threw her through the window. Upstairs to the window, downstairs. And she died. And sit down watching the football. He continued watching his football. Until after the game is over, he said, darling, where are you? People don't know what happened. So they walk out. By the time he walked out, people are already taking the wife, rushing her to the hospital. She's dead. And then he started crying, coming back to his senses. So for transcendental knowledge, you have a spot to look at and forget about God. This is what it says they have. If you do that, they feel they've conquered. However, in the last 100 years, has religion influenced away from men? Is it still there or not there? It is becoming much more stronger now in Europe than it is the last 100 years. So becoming more religious, especially Europe and youth across the world. Youth across the world are much more religious now than when it used to be in the last 100 years. Distinguished brother, the second model was the 1893 historical event in 1893, which gave birth to the World Parliament of Religion. World Parliament of Religion in 1893 in Chicago. That event alone, religious leaders coming to us and say, look, this First World War, Second World War, First World War, and all those events that is happening with these industrialization processes before the Second World War, before even the First World War. Industrialization, the way nudity and everything is taking hold of men, we need to do something. Religious community come together and they establish the First World Parliament of Religion. Distinguished brothers and sisters, what is more important is it provides a template for learning from the others. That religion can be a force for good. It is not even part of the solution. Religion has the solution because it is the bane of our civilization. It is what molds our attitude and behavior. The guiding principle of our attitude and behavior are our religious values, which in religious values enhance and develop into cultural reality that form our attitude and behavior, our do and don't. Distinguished brothers and sisters, across the faith, I have just some few minutes to go, but I was just making an introduction to my presentation. I hope the chairperson will give me some extra time. What is important is this, it is about sharing. One is, I look at what is the outcome of that meeting in 1893. They just celebrated 100 years some few years ago, the 100 years of interfaith relations across the world. First, there's establishment of what? Of more faith-based organizations. Within that moment, the theology of liberation, theology of what? Liberation comes to play. Religious leaders forefront in decolonization processes. Not only decolonizations, anti-slavery, and against social structures of our society. Religious leaders across the world, we could mention so many of them, who have done that. In India, the independence of India come because religion motivated Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is motivated by what? By a concept of religious theology, of satyagraha, for him to move India to independence, the largest and the biggest colonial authority under the British Empire. The second most important personality we'll remember is in South America, we remember Reverend Father Romero as a fighter who used the power of religion to change the course of history in his Latin America. Not only that alone, I remember the great Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. The two of them, one Muslim, one Christians, who are all murdered by within their own clan or their community for what they believe in nonviolence. They have used the power of their religion to shape the mind. Today, Martin Luther King is a Nobel Peace Prize, the youngest one before Malala. Malala is now he was the youngest person until Malala comes, and he no more become the youngest person to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. But what is important is that these are people who have used theology of liberation to change the history. And we remember clearly that in Africa, we will not forget Nelson Mandela, Bishop Desmond Tutu, and Ahmad Bamba, who fought from Senegambia across with the colonial authority as a sheikh to change the history of his own people. Distinguished brothers and sisters, we forget in Asia, I will always remember the Tibet, with all the conflict, but we have a different Buddhist monk who received the Nobel Prize. I forgot his name. Dalai Lama. There they are bombing in the name of Buddha, killing others, but he was saying, no, not in Buddhist name. Not in Buddha's name, it cannot happen. So we have model of people who didn't take to arms, but they used their cause and values in order to change the history of their own nation. And one important friend I would love to mention is Jamaica. We know Jamaican independence and the struggle, the theology of liberation, which was by the musician Bob Marley. Bob Marley is another guy who have used the power of religious theology in order to change the course of history. So as people of faith, we have so many treasure, resources that we can change our history. In terms of theology of compassion, another important tool used by Muslims and all other people around the world in the area of education, health, theology, philosophy, medicine, physics, chemistry, etc., etc. Islam and other religions have used so many important examples that we can see and be able to say yes. However, what is the Islamic perspective? What does Islam have to say specifically about interfaith? Do we have a Quranic reference for what you are doing, Imam Ashafa? What is the basis from a Quranic context? My basis comes specifically from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Muhammad let us know that the world is not for Muslim alone. He said it is an inclusive world that have the Muslim, the Christian, the Hindu, the Buddhist, the Shinto, the Confucian, and even the free thinker. They all have right to this world. And every Friday, the imams across the world, either you are Sunni, you are Shia, you are Nashmandiya, you are Shurawadiya, you are Katimiya, you are Muhammadiya, you are Nada, whatever it is, every khutbah, very rare, in 99.9% of the mosques, they recite this inclusive language. What did they say? Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wal unsa waja'alnakum shu'uban wa kaba'ira lita'arafu inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. In another place, he will say, Ya ayyuhan nas, taqu rabbakum allazi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida wa khalaqa minha zawjaha wa bassa minhuma rijalan kaseeran wa nisaa وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ الَّذِي تَسَاءَلُونَ بِهِ وَالْأَرْحَامَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَيْكُمْ رَقِيبًا. Every imam, Quran chapter 4 verse 1, Quran chapter 4 verse 1, every imam recite that, symbolizing God is talking to all mankind. It's not God, Allah is not Allah of Muslim alone. It's the Allah of all. So not only that, and in terms of social justice, they end up their khutbah with what? Inna Allah ya'muru bil adli wal ihsan wa ita'i zil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun qumu lis-salah. You see, everybody stand up. So the concept of social justice and the concept of inclusive compassion, it is embedded within Islamic traditions. And Muhammad started the first interfaith. Remember the first interfaith when the Najran Christian visited him in Medina. The Najran Christian, take note of this and go and Google. Najran Christian in Medina, they met Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said they want to talk with him. Muhammad invited the Christian inside his mosque. They sit with him inside his mosque. It's time for them to pray. Muhammad said, no, inside the mosque, move into this corner. He gave them a space and said, do your prayers. And he was sitting down watching. And when they finished their prayer inside his mosque, then they continued their dialogue. It is there in the Quran. After the dialogue got to a point, it got to a point of Kuli nadu abna'ana wa abna'akum wa nisa'ana wa nisa'akum wa anfusana wa anfusakum wa kunna di'u lanatallahi ala al-kazibin. When they couldn't agree, Muhammad didn't take sword. He said, what you have said and what you have said, if you don't agree, can you bring your fathers, I bring my family, your children and my children, your brothers and my brothers, and we all invoke the curse of God on a liar. Let God curse whoever is telling lie if what I say is not true about God. And the same to you. They say they want to go and think. He say you are free to go and think. When they go, they didn't come back again. But Muhammad didn't follow them to kill them. So the protection of sacred space is the key important component. So in terms of dialogue, when Muhammad did that in Medina, when the Muslims are looking for asylum seekers, like the Syrians now who are running to Europe, you know the Syrians running to Europe, are they in Indonesia? Not yet, it's far away. So running to Europe for safety, what happened? The first Muslim community were running for safety. They went to Ethiopia. Muhammad said, go to Ethiopia, Abyssinia. There is a Christian king. In his heart, there is justice and compassion. Go! And when they went there, they have dialogue with the king. And the Meccans came over, but Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what did he do? In dialogue, the first dialogue, the second dialogue of Muhammad at the time of Muhammad with his companion, Abu Ja'far leading the delegation, he gave them succor. And that's why today, from that moment to this day, they are the first Muslim community in Africa. Africa saved the first Muslim community. Africa saved the infancy Jesus Christ when he was to be murdered in Israel. They brought him to Egypt. So Africa has given so much to Christianity and Islam. I know he knows that. Distinguished brothers and sisters, when we talk about dialogue, Quran, apart from these two important events, in Quran chapter 3 verse 64, Quran chapter 3 verse 64, Quran chapter 5 verse 32, Allah made it clear. He authorized the Muslim to go for dialogue with people of faith. Kuliah alul kitab, ta'alaw ila kalimatin sawa'un baynana wa baynakum. Then, not only that, he says, for the whole world, if he so will, he will have make all of us one nation, one tribe, one religion. But so that he may test you and me, like in the university, different faculty. If you like, go and study. If you like, continue playing. The lecturer cannot carry koboko. You know koboko? Cannot carry cane to say he want to beat you before you didn't come to his class. The lecturer have no right to say, why do you put your leg, cross your leg together? The lecturer have no right to say, why are you playing with your set in his class? He have no right. You are so free in the university to do what you want. But remember, you are going to meet the day of convocation. The day of convocation is there. When your family will come, they want to come and see how you are going to receive that thing. Then and then, we all, it's not time for lecture, but for another lecture, we'll have seen what happened to those in the first generation. Distinguished brothers and sisters, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam authorized every Muslim to protect sacred sites, sacred spaces, and sacred symbols of any religion. You must not destroy the places of worship. You must not destroy, even if they worship idol. You have no legitimate right, according to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for that, one of the important history documents is St. Katrina Monastery. St. Katrina Christian Monastery in Sinai. Sinai is in Egypt, between Egypt and Palestine, Israel. If you go there today, that letter sign, Muhammad say that church must be protected from the first Muslims here to the last Muslim that live in the world. They must leave that church protected by them. Their blood and the sanctity of that place is in his heart. That is Muhammad. And with all the fighting going on, no Muslims has ever went to St. Katrina Monastery to destroy St. Katrina Monastery. Why? Because Muhammad signed a treaty of saying that place must be protected. If this is the Muhammad they follow, how do you go and destroy the Buddhist temple? How do you go and destroy so many churches? Why do you destroy mosques in the name of Allah? Never, 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 my distinguished brothers and sisters. Because of time factor, I will not go further. But one important thing I would like us to remember is that in Quran, Allah told us the symbol of the Muslims. They asked Muhammad, who is a Muslim? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a Muslim is he or she whose neighbor are safe from the evil of her tongue or his tongue and the evil of his hand. A Muslim is he whose neighbor are saved from the evil of his mouth and the evil of his hand. And how do you identify them when they walk on the street? The Quran chapter 25 verse 63, Quran 25 says, Ibadur Rahman, the servant of Allah, the true Muslim, Allazina yamshuna anin aridi awnan, fa iza khatabahum jahiluna, walu salama. When they walk on land, they walk with humility. They are not arrogant. They don't boastful. They walk with humility and kindness, full of compassion. When the ignorant confront them, they want to make a problem with them, they say, Qalu salama. No, we are peacemakers. We are peacemakers. I don't want to make trouble with you. Sorry, they walk their part. Distinguished brothers and sisters, we will know that there's no wonder. I will not go into order because of time is against us. I will mention that during question and answer. But one of the key challenges we face, challenges number one that we face is many Muslims, when they see us talking about interfaith, they say you are compromising. Why are you compromising your religion? Why are you compromising your honor by talking with the other? Or the second one will say, you are a traitor. You are betraying religion. Wallah, you are becoming a kafir. What you are doing is kufr. Why do you laugh with them? Why are you shaking their hands? Why are you hugging them? They tell you you are a traitor, and they tell you if you don't stop, we're going to kill you. They put a fatwa on my head. They've threatened me 15, 20 years ago when I started this journey. But Allah in His infinite wisdom had kept me going. So as Muslim to Muslims, you have this challenge. Number three, you are the ideal. That's good, but they don't have the courage to speak out for you. They will not speak for you. They are the silent majority who believe what you are doing is right, but they won't speak, and they won't speak for you. Neither will they protect you. The loneliness of the night always caught me every time. But for you here, you have the courage to say, it is, you have to do that. My brother has said that one of the other challenges is amalgamation. Wahdaniyah. We are calling for wahdaniyah of religion, united religion, one religion in the world. We want to mix everything. Chris Lahab, a small Islam, small Christianity, small Allah Akbar, small Hallelujah. Say, la, 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 la. For me, and so therefore that concept must be very clear. They have that misconception. For us, we say, inna dina indallahi Islam. That is my belief as a Muslim. But for pastor, for Christ is the only way to heaven. That's what he believes. That's his own belief. This is my own belief. Lakum dinukum waliya din. To me, it's my religion. To him, is his religion. Distinguished brothers and sisters, we are not promoting pluralism, that all religions should go. I want the whole world to become Muslims. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنَ قَوْلًا مِمَّا دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. The best thing I can do as a Muslim is to do da'wah. To do da'wah is to call people to Islam. And the best thing he can do as a Christian is to evangelize the gospel. He's free to evangelize his gospel. I'm free to do my da'wah. But we do it with the sense of all responsibility, of respect for the dignity of the others. A truism. Only my truth. There's no element of truth in order. No. We're not promoting altruism. Where we close our eyes to the truth in others. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam confirmed there are good people in the world, in every religion, in every tradition. This is Quranic confirmation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why Muhammad have a deal with non-Muslims, with Jews. He bought things from them. He even collects some loan from some people, give them his mantle. We know all this has happened between Muhammad and non-Muslims. So therefore, we don't promote altruism. We have our truth. We are not compromising. He has his truth. He's not compromising. Yes, I know you are looking at me. So finally, my brothers and sisters, one of the major challenges is misrepresentation of text, scriptural text. The Quran is not like any other novel. The language is a Semitic language. It's subject to so many interpretations. One key word, for example, lan taridu ankan yaudu walan nasara hatta tattabi'a millatahum. What does it mean? You have to go to the context. We quote scripture out of context. It's a key challenge. Because you quote the Quran for you to see what he's saying is rubbish. Gave you evidences, but quoting out of context is one of the major challenges we face as da'i promoting interfaith relations. Therefore, for me, I would say the important way forward, we must demonstrate the ideal role of inclusiveness as practiced by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. We must reincarnate the safe space for other people's sanctuary and places of worship. And finally, the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said one statement: no one will enter Al-Jannah until he have Iman. No one will enter Al-Jannah until what? He has faith. And he said, no one will have Iman until he loves, until you know how to love. You can never have Iman if there's no love in you. You don't know how to love. You can never have Iman. It means if you are not compassionate, you have no Iman. Then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell his companion, should I teach you how to love? They say, yes, Ya Rasulullah. He says, extend the greeting of peace among yourselves. Anywhere you see somebody say, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum. When you do this, you are going to enter Al-Jannah straight. Allahumma arina haqqan haqqan warzuqna tiba'a, wa arina batilan batilan warzuqna ijtinaba. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Imam Asafa. Wow, so many nuggets we have, especially for those of you, because I know the majority of the audience are Muslims, reflecting the proportion of religion in Indonesia. So many teachings. And thank you for bringing how there are two models of religions being used. The first one, Imam Asafa mentioned some figures, some names, some groups that use religions for terrorizing people, for destruction, and for violence. And then he also mentioned figures that use religion, that put religion as the guidance for humanity, for building human and building the world and peace and harmony. Thank you. And now I would like to call, can you prepare the standing? Shall we have two or only one? Two. Okay. So we have two standing mics here. And you don't have to raise your hand, but I would urge you to raise to the nearest mic stands. We will only start with 2 persons standing here and 2 persons standing there. For those of you who wants to ask questions, just go to here and there, 2 here and 2 there. Please step forward behind the person before. Another one here. Another one here. Okay. My good friend here. Okay, Mbak, you can start with your question. Please be concise. Let's remember that the speakers are this gentleman, not us. Okay? Just a concise question and or ideas or statement or challenge even, and then go back to your seat. Thank you. We will go through all the questions first before I ask our speakers to answer. Go ahead, name and the question.
Okay, my name is Nita. Good evening, Imam Asafa and Pastor James. It's nice to meet you in person. So I believe your commitment, your dedication, and your work for peace building in Nigeria is very impactful and very inspiring for many people there. But my question is, I think your solidarity now is being tested with the emergence of Boko Haram in Nigeria. I just want to know, my question is not violating the togetherness vibes here, peaceful vibes here, but I'm wondering, how do you, as a brother here, to overcome or to facing this issue in Nigeria? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manita, for setting the pace. Please go back to your seat. Yep. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Let's just go first there. Tunggu ya, Mbak.
Okay, good morning. My name is Afaf. I'm from CRCS. Good evening for Imam Asafa and Pastor James. One thing that I want to ask is about women and children in conflict. We know that there will always be powerless victim. And in your peacebuilding effort, is there any special program to healing their trauma or to empower them? And the second is about the peace building in grassroots level, because we know that sometimes peace building just success in the surface, but not in the grassroots level. Is there any program to bring peace into and forgiveness into grassroots level? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Afa. The last question is how to get the peace building not only at the surface level, but to the heart, the grassroots level. Thank you, Mbak Afa. Let's go.
Well, thank you. My name is Ajeng. I would like to, we all know that now in Indonesia, there is kind of a problem in religiosity, and we know that it is not only talking about the conflict between Islam and Christian or any religion, but from my point of view, right now in Indonesia, the conflict is from the intern of the religious itself. So what do you think? Because right now, I think Indonesia is lost of the leader of the religion itself. So they do not have kind of any role model again, because they just want to win their interests of their community in their religion. So what do you think with this the phenomenon in Indonesia? Well, thank you.
Okay, let me just check with you. So the question is about internal problems in religion,
yes.
Lack of leadership,
yes.
That leads to religion?
Because they want to win their interests.
Okay, so the religion only, they are so focused on
yes.
their own interest,
yes.
And without
lack of the leadership itself.
That comes out of lack of leadership
yes.
within the religion.
Yep.
So it's not the religion, it's not about Christian and Muslims, but it's about internal problems in religion.
Yes.
Yep. The problems would be leadership.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Ajeng. Ajeng ya? Yes, Mbak Ajeng.
Good evening. My name is Bill.
Bill?
Yeah, and I have some questions. So both of you proposed that religions bring both of you peace in Nigeria. So and when I study the other side of the not peaceful, the extremist group, they also base their belief in their extremism from the biblical texts like Quran and the Bible, and even in Buddhism, in Rohingya, they reference their actions from their biblical source. So I think religion can cause both, which is peace and war. So my first question is, what do you think about that? And how can you, what do you both do in Nigeria to change from extremism to more peaceful ways, and what should we do to prevent extremism? Thank you.
Okay, so extremisms are also based on biblical texts. So the biblical text can lead to peace and war, and how this gentleman here, our Imam and our pastor, transform Nigeria from this war to peace, and how to prevent extremism.
Yes.
Thank you, Mas Bill. Thank you. Would you, Pastor, would you like
Thank
to
you
start,
very
please?
much, Imam, for giving me the chance. I'm going to address two of the questions. If I have not done it well, Imam will always do it well. Number one, your question, thank you, about Boko Haram. Yes, they exist. And it is people who want to purify religion. They are purifying it and cleaning it and garnishing it to a point that they begin to feel justified to kill people. It's very wrong. I want to tell you there are more Muslims now who have died as a result of Boko Haram attacking Nigeria more than Christians. But it started little by little, and now everybody is their enemy. And they are even saying they will take the war even to Mecca, to Hajj. Unfortunately, they will not get there. Fortunately, they will not get there. And we have attempted to discuss with them many years back. There is no time to give you details, but our center did not just sit down. We engaged some of their commanders to discuss about how they can stop it. They agreed that for the sake of women, children, and old people, they will stop it. But then the government of that time lacked the political will to engage them, even as they asked us to help them. So we did something about it. But as now, we know the new government is discussing with them. It's using the carrot and the stick style. Where it will hit, it will use the stick. Where it will give carrots, it will give the carrots. And the negotiations are very high now to negotiate for the remaining Chibok girls who were adopted from their school. That is ongoing. On number two, again, on the question of what are we doing about psychosocial counseling and trauma healing, our center, Imam and myself and 4 other women, were flown to the epicenter of the war. It's called Maiduguri, Borno State, where we gave psychosocial, faith-based psychosocial counseling to the 57 girls that escaped from the hands of Boko Haram. And within 3 days, we were using the Bible and the Quran to talk to them, and they were stress-free and trauma-free. For those who were up to point of trauma, they changed. So it is very efficient. The fastest way to de-traumatize or to give psychosocial counseling to get immediate result is to use the faith-based approach. It's very effective. It is more effective than the clinical psychological therapy. That we have tested and we know it. It is easier to pass the buck to God, your creator, than to listen to human experience or techniques of psychosocial counseling. So if you are here, superimpose your knowledge of trauma healing on the Quran, the Hadith, and the Bible, you will get result quickly. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, very concise answers.
How to make peace at grassroots level. We have developed different mechanisms. One, peace within the formal structures, schools, in primary schools in Nigeria. In some secondary school, we established peace club, interfaith peace clubs. And we developed what we call peer mediations. Peer mediations. You have peace clubs in school, you have peer mediations across various schools and colleges, including our universities. We do engage in some of the students with the student union government, like you have a student union government here, although in the university people go out, the senior go out, another one come, where you develop a peer mediation groups who help the student, you train the student union government for them to have mediation groups where they be able to work within themselves and resolve so many programs without taking it beyond the student union and the student affairs department. Okay. It's no more whatever the crisis in the school, the community outside should not be involved. Oh. This is what we do. Because in Nigeria at times there's a problem outside the school campus, and then because the school is very close to the mosques or very close to a Christian organization gender, they have a crisis and then the students get involved and it moves into the campuses and student to student become victims of that. So we set up that in schools. And apart from schools, we do at the community level, which is informal community level, we call it community peace observers. Community peace observers, we set up early warning and early response system. Early warning and early response system. So we have community peace observers. People we call, they call them whistleblowers. They blow the whistle of saying, hey, something negative is going to happen. Can we stop it? This guy is conflict entrepreneur. He's influencing people negatively. Can we do something? So they report to a hub. And the hubs, which is called Conflict Management Community Peace Action Network, and they analyze the situation and identify a religious leader or a community leader or a school director or a school principal who can intervene in such community. and they'll be to go and intervene. This is what we do at that level. Lack of role model of leadership, selfishness within faith leaders. Yes, because I told you there are three types of religious leaders. There is the ideal, there is the incapable, and there is the mischievous religious leaders. The mischievous religious leader is possessed by greed. He abused the principles of leadership. He used the leadership to draw political interest. That's why he joined with the politician. Do we halalize it or haramonize it? I talk of halalization of haram and haramonization of halal. He turned halal into haram, and he turned haram into halal. We have them in every community because they are possessed by greed. They are there not because of God, they are there because of what they want. I will give another example. People marry, they fall in love because of three things. Either to the girls, or the boy to the girls, or the girls to the boy, because of four important things according to the Prophet of Islam. Number one, they fall in love because this lady, she was the daughter of a former president of this country. So yeah, if I fall in love with her, I'm going to use the opportunity to make shh. That is evidence number one. The influence from that particular family or that particular lady become number one. Second thing, people fall in love because the lady or the guy has money. She loves him because he has money, or she fall in love because he has money or influence. So that becomes the second thing because of the fulus. So if I marry him, I'm going to have rest. He has a car for me. He has a house for me. He has everything. I don't need to do wahala. The third evidence is that people marry because of that particular girl. She's beautiful. You know, look at this, how beautiful this girl is. You know, this lady, how beautiful she is. You know, you know, you marry because the lady is beautiful. You marry because it's as handsome as Imam. You know, handsome like me. Or are you marrying because as ugly as this guy? I think you're not going to marry because of me. You marry because of me. You know, so it is the beauty of the lady that motivates some people to fall in love. And then the last one, people marry because of God, because they see God in you. So when the beauty in the face wipe away, when the black hair is turning white, it is because of God He saw in you. The love become new and new and new. You see people that are in love, they get old and they still love themselves so much. That is an important phenomenon. And the Prophet says we should marry because there is beauty. So people, many of us become religious leaders. By profession, they are religious leaders, but their vocation, they are politicians. By profession, they are religious leaders. By vocation, they are snoppers. By profession, they are religious leaders, but by vocation, they are businessmen. They are looking for, so the medium for value is not truth or honor, it is money. So their knowledge is price. You have them, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, when one of the signs of the hour, the sign of the last day, is that many of these religious leaders will become so many in the community. Everything will be material, material, material. So my sister, you need to know that. The terrorists use religious text to justify their position. I talk about it. Says many often, these are the two groups, both the bad and the ugly religious leaders. They are the ones who misuse it. The first one, the incapable, they did it out of ignorance. They don't know that they are quoting the Quran out of context. They are sincere, but sincerely ignorant. Are you getting it? They are sincere in their heart, but they are sincerely ignorant and using the text ignorantly as I was used. I thought when the Quran says go for jihad, it means go and eliminate any non-Muslims. That's why we fought with him. That's why he lost his hand for my group. He lost his hand for my group. That's why I lost my spiritual teacher and my cousin from his group. Because the Quran tells me you have to do jihad. Not knowing the greatest jihad is jihad al-nafs. Jihad of self-purification. If I couldn't clean myself, I don't have the authority to tell her to clean up herself. It must begin with me. Nafs al-lawama, nafs al-hawa, and nafs al-mutma'inna. It is a process of a life journey. We don't have time to discuss that. But what is important is the first group quote out of context. That is it. But the second group, the mischievous one, deliberately they know. But they look at your own ignorance and level of your ignorancy, so they quote the scripture out of context in order to justify for you to push you into war, to push you, to make you killer machines. They make their money, but they waste your own life. That is what they do. So that's why it is incumbent upon every one of us here. As people of faith, we must know our religion, we must learn it, we must understand it. We shouldn't just say, I don't need to read. Imam is there, he will tell me what to do. No, 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 no. You have to read. You have to know. Please. Finally, what do you, I, and Pete to transform yourself? What we use to transform, you watch a documentary, we say it in documentary, it is our faith. Discovering the true teaching of my religion, Islam. Discovering the true teaching of Christianity and what Christianity stands for, what Islam stands for. It what transformed me from negative misuse and abuse to open my eyes and say, oh, I have been abused. Muhammad teach about love. Muhammad has forgiven his enemy. Muhammad has given compassion instead of hate. Muhammad has power. People who drive him out of Mecca, frustrate him, kill his wife, his daughter, destroy their food and resources. But when Muhammad come back, he forgive all of them. As Yusuf forgive his 11 brothers. So Muhammad also forgive all the Meccan who have hurt him. Why are they not telling you these beautiful stories? Why are they telling us about hate, not about love? And there are more verses in the Quran that talk about love than verses that talk about hate. It's not time for that. So that is the answer to that. Thank you very much.
And how to prevent extremism? How to prevent extremism? The last question.
To prevent extremism, it has, you know, I love one quotation from Martin Luther King. He says, what extremism are you talking about? And Zaik Naik used the same phrases somehow. He says, yes, there are good extremism, there are negative extremism. Be extreme in love and compassion for others. Not extreme in hate and terrorizing the other. Go extreme in compassion of the other, not extreme in hate. So I feel that, yeah, we are extremists, but we are extremists who love. Extreme in love will not return vengeance for vengeance. We will not return hate for hate. We will return love for hate. We will return compassion for aggression. But we will protect our honor. We won't fold our arms and then you destroy our honor. No, we protect our honor. But we will not be the aggressor. So in extremism, what you need to do is there is a standard. And that standard is set by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, when you love, don't love him too much. Reserve some space so that when he hates you, there's certain thing he doesn't know about you that is greater than what he knows. If you hate him a little. Leave a space. When you hate what he's doing a little. Don't hate him 100%. To the extent that tomorrow, when you are looking for his help, and you come tomorrow, and you come to his own looking for his help, and he remember that the other day you have no mercy, even a little. You should always create a space to say, yes, you know what I did for you. Yes, but remember, I know this and this, and I didn't expose you. So extremism, you must go away from extremism. And why you cannot do positive extremism, negative extremism, zero level. You have to be zero tolerance of negative extremism. There's no room for it in Islam. But I don't know, maybe in Christianity there's room for extremism.
Well, it's just the same. What I wanted to add from what he said is, we train young people in schools, and that's our strategy to prevention of extremism. Number two, we are working with pastors and imams, giving them capacity in order to get them to know how to dialogue with young people or people who think negatively. Number three, we identify those who have tendency to be extreme, and then we work with them. Where we cannot, we tell the government that these people are beginning to preach what might lead to extremism. So we work individually, we work with people, and we work among people. But our greatest target is training the teachers who train people on religion. And we have an oncoming program where we hope to start an institution that will be training imams and pastors on prevention of extremism and to know what words, those verses that seems to be ambiguous in our religious texts, how do we manage them? Because there are some that if you give it a literal meaning, it will mean probably it's encouraging violence. How do you handle those texts? And where do you find those texts? And how do you communicate those texts? This is what we are doing in our style to prevent violent extremism among the community. We don't work only with the very top, we work with people at the grassroots, local imams and local pastors. We do train them in inclusive theology of communication. Like my colleagues say, we don't have enough time to give you details, but that is what we do, and it's very effective. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Give a round of applause. The organizer, what time should we start? Do we still have time for one more round of questions and answers? Yes? Okay, one last round. Two questions here and there. 2 and 2. Okay, come. Make it 3? Okay, make it 3. One more. At the side, one more. And then another. Yes, please. One. Already 3? No? 2. Another one here? Yep. Here, okay. Okay, please start.
Thank you. I'm Henry from Yogyakarta. First of all, I would like to say that I'm sorry. I don't believe your peaceful relation 100%. Because as long as I know, I don't ever see that there is permanent peaceful relation between Muslim and Christian, as long as I know. So please tell me more detail about your relation. And what about your follower? Are there relation in peaceful just like you or not? And second question, in UK there is a magician or NLP practitioner it called Darren Brown. He make experience to erase any faith or any religion from human mind and human heart to make permanent peace among human, because according to his experience, the problem itself is religion itself. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. So, is the first question is about, is there a real sustainable peace-loving relationship between the two of you? Because he doesn't believe that it's real and it's sustainable. At one time, it will break down. That's what Henry said. And the second one is about neuro-linguistic programming, NLP practitioners that erase the memory of religion from human, and how it leads to more peaceful. Is that the thesis? Yeah. Thank you. From the other side.
Thank you, Mbak Alisa. I'm really nervous here. I just have a questions.
Name?
My name is Bintar Mupiza from Universitas Islam Indonesia. Sorry. My question is, despite of you had a previous conflict in your own country, but I see Nigeria as a role model in the terms of religion and politics. You had President Goodluck Jonathan, which is a Christian, and now led by President Muhammad Buhari. So how Nigerian, especially Muslim and the Christian, can accepting someone who have a different faith as a leader of the country? How do you reconcile this phenomenon? Thank you.
Okay, that's it, the question? Okay, you can go back to your seat. Thank you. Mbak?
Okay, thank you. I'm Esti from Solo. So yeah, I want to share the condition which I struggle right now. So I work to campaign peace and equality through apparel, calligraphy apparel for youth. But the challenge is once I promote the idea of peace in a peaceful way, I mean in a polite campaign, something like that, which promoting love, youth people seems like they don't really pay attention, or they don't really attract to such kind of polite way to promote peace. But when I promote the same values through a more like cynical way, or through satire or comedy, which actually sometimes it contradict with the value of peace itself. In my personal point of view, they more attract to such kind of way to promoting peace and love. So my question is, what are your suggestions to promote peace and love for youth people, but not in a really in a peaceful way, but it still can get their attention. Thank you.
Okay, how to work with young people who seem to be attracted to cynical messages, not messages of love. Let's go to that side.
Thank you
much.
very
Sorry. Mbak, namanya siapa tadi, Mbak? Esti. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I am Muhammad from Nepal, and I am one of the School of Peace student, which is organized by Sekolah Damai Indonesia, Sekodi, and ICF, Interfaith Cooperation Fund. That we also discuss about how to make the peace and about the religious faith. And my question is that I had hear about the Nigeria, that there was many conflict between the Christian and Muslim. That then how did you make as a negotiation and as a reconciliation with Muslim and Christian? And you know that sometimes religious make the problem and religious lose the humanity. That's my curiosity. And next one is like you know what is the religion and what is the faith, or what is the connection between religion and faith? You know, if I faith, my faith is my religion. If I faith on the Muslim, then I follow the Muslim. If I have faith about the Christian, then I follow the Christian. So I want to know more deep. Thank you very much. It is really that a very meaningful program for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What is the difference between religions and faith? Yeah. Okay. Mas Isan terakhir ya. Sabar, biar kurus sedikit.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Gulam. I am from Young Interfaith Peacemaker Community. My question is, how did you guarantee the people in a conflict area to hold the peace for a long time without you as a religion leader? In your film, I saw your film, you said you are like a husband and a wife. When you divorce, then the people could be, will be divorced too. And do we need 1,000 like you? Do we need 1,000 of Imam Ashafa, or do we need more 1,000 Pastor James? When you create another like you, will the people believe them? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. How to guarantee that people will keep peace even if you're divorced? That's okay. Thank you. Mas Isan?
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm exactly for the first year of Center for the Religious and Cross-Cultural Studies student for Pak Zainal here. I have two questions. I think there are students who are aspiring of being in the future peace builders like you. And I think it needs more than religious understanding, inclusive theology like the one that you have described before. I think it also needs technical skills, knowledge, and others. Can you say more about this aspect of your working in Nigeria, and how did you get it from? Is there any, are you getting it from, did you get it from OIC or somewhere else? But also, maybe it's also good to cooperate with other, even secular organizations, right? I think it would be good if you can share that issue with us. Second questions, sometimes as someone who try to do something like you, peace builders here in Jakarta, in Indonesia, sometimes I felt myself depressed. We want to do something and we think that my goal is somehow, useful, but actually what you really get is something opposite. of it. Yeah, we want to do something more. We want to see more, which is more tolerant. But we found out that Jakarta election last year, Jakarta election is that brutal. I really also want to hear from you. How do you define success in your works? Given what we saw, what we see, what we read from Nigeria and Boko Haram and others, how do you define success? Don't you feel that somehow depressed by what is going on out there? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mas Ihsan. How do you define success in your work? Not asking about how do you get out of that depression ya. Kita sih ngopi-ngopi ya Mas. Okay, and about religious understandings is important, but also skills. Where do we get the skills? Where do you get the skill? What kind of skills are needed to become a peace builder, and where can we get them? Would you like to start, Imam? Okay, okay.
Remember, Christianity comes before Islam.
Okay, Christianity comes before Islam, so
600 years.
Okay.
Christianity has been before Islam come.
Okay.
And I don't want to be rude to my Oga.
Okay.
So Oga should start, then I will follow as a junior brother to him.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but your brother asked you to start first. He loves you that much. He loves you that much, so you want to. He wants you to.
Carry on, sir.
He wants you to say to answer.
Yes, sir. You know, when the leader starts something, the follower will have less things to do. So let him help me with these complex questions, then I will have very little to say. Imam.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It shows you, at times you can offer a gift to somebody.
Yes.
It's not because he hates you, but he will reject your offers. Because he doesn't need it. So this is another lesson, you should put it in your box.
Okay.
Let's go on. Religion is the problem. How do you erase religious memory? I just make reference to the questionnaire here, that some psychologists and secularist thinkers believe that for us to religion is the problem. And if we are to do anything, we should erase religion and the influence of religion in the minds of the human family. If we do this, we are going to do away with religion. That was 100 years ago. According to Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, in his book, Responding to Using the Name of God to Commit Atrocity, Not in My Name. Distinguished brothers, and after 100 years, we did an experiment in Europe. 100 years ago in Europe, there's a lot of killing across Protestant Pentecostalism. They just come out of that, and there's more industrialization. Because of influence of industrialization, people are forgetting God. They therefore decided, let's throw God away. In fact, in the early 1900s, there's more debate, does God exist? In Europe and America. Does God really exist? That debate was very strong in Europe. So therefore, they decided to forget about God. They say, you need prayers, you need Bible to pray, you don't need Bible to pray. If you are ill, take drugs. Doctor is there. If you need transcendental knowledge, you can listen to music. There are rock music, and sports. But had this solved the problem of man? It didn't solve the problem. It didn't erase religion out of the minds of men. So therefore, they try another experiment. Apart from that, is the experiment of saying we can be morality without religion. You don't need religion to be morally upright. They experiment that concept, that concept also. And the concept of religion without morality without religion, it also failed. It couldn't stand the test of time. Then they bring spirituality, morality without spirituality. It also failed the test of time. Instead of influence of religion going out of Europe, in the last 100 years, there's no Buddhist temple in Europe. European doesn't know how to do yoga. But today, there are more yoga temples in Europe than what you can see or you can have in some part of Asian countries. There are more Europeans who are learning, who are expert masters in yoga than what you have in the other part of the world where it comes from. In Europe, why? The influence of religion is growing stronger. Then we need to ask ourselves, why is religion become so strong? Are the whole problem of human being based on religion, or because religion have been used? I talk about politicization of religion and religionization of our political process. Politicization of religion and religionization of our political process. Somebody wants political power, but because you are a Muslim, you say, hey, and me and James want it. James deserves it on merit, but I want to use the identity syndrome. I say, remember, we're all Muslims. Yep. They are the enemy. Don't vote for him, vote for me. Yep. Is it religion I'm promoting, or I want agenda? I have an agenda, and it's a political agenda. I want a political office. He is not a Malay. He's not an Indonesian. He's a Malaysian. We are Indonesian. Vote for us. So this phenomenon of using religion, you can see that is an instrument of social transformation. Economic instruments have been used to fool the world. We see how economy of the world collapsed because some people have betrayed the ethics of the banking system, the ethics of economy. So some banks collapse in America, collapse in Europe, and many of us who buy shares will lose our money. Some company closed down. Remember that? Some years ago. Why? Because some people abuse that ethics. Because they abuse the economic system, which collapsed the bank. Does that mean that the banking system is bad? We should throw it away? And I always repeat one word Yusuf Islam said. You don't throw away a car as a bad one because you give it to a drunken driver and the drunken driver banged the car to the wall. It is not the car that is the problem. It is the driver that is the problem. So the same applies. Religion is not the problem. It is the drivers. Those who move into the seat of religion as the drivers of religion today, they are the problem. And I told you there are three types of them today. One is the mischievous, the other one is the incapable. So when you give an unqualified driver to drive you, you know what is going to happen. The same applies. So in the light of this, my brother, religion has given the greatest contribution to the human family. Civilizations. Civilization, the greatest civilization we have today from ages is civilization based on religious ethics. Ethics, norms, and value of what is right and what is wrong. And ethics and value of saying, in security, the greatest security, God is watching you if nobody is there. Because God is watching me, I won't harm her even though I'm stronger than her. Because God is watching me, I will not betray him because I'm not doing it for him, I'm doing it for God. So the greatest security is the security of God consciousness. It's greater than the security of physically, I can see the police. If I don't see the police, I can deal with you. Are we getting it? So religion has continued playing the major role in the minds of people around the world. So therefore, we must find what is the solution. How does Jesus use religion to save the less privileged, the most vulnerable in Israeli communities? How does Muhammad use religion? Women are murdered. If you born a woman in Arabia of Muhammad times, you are a shame to you, shame to your family, because the first child is a female. They bury women alive, infanticide. They share women. They carry women and use them and throw them away. But Muhammad said, no, women have equal rights as you have. Woman is a human being. She has the same spirit like you. Women don't inherit. Muhammad said, no, she has right to inheritance. She has right to own investment. She has right to her value system. This came because religion, and it saved the Arab women and me, the women across the world, to say you have right to inheritance, you have right to own yourselves, you have freedom and right, you only have different responsibilities. Equal rights, but different responsibility. So this shows to us that religion has, in civilization, it has taken man from Stone Age to a civilization age that are bringing dignity and glory to the human family. Most of the conflict across the world today is not just about religion. The First World War, is it religion? The Second World War, is it religion? No. So distinguished brothers and sisters, religion is not the problem, but one of the religion have been used, hijacked. I talk about hijacking of religion to commit atrocity, and they can hijack any instrument or anything to do atrocity as identity theft. You know the small thief? Come and steal your ID card, put his name and everything, and use it to make money. So also is our religion have been used because it's the simplest chess game you can use to make money. Number two, is there really a real loving relation between you and Is there really a real loving relationship? I leave that for him. How do you reconcile Muslim-Christian presidency in Nigeria? I leave it for him.
Can I ask you to answer that? Because probably the Muslims here, they are bombarded with messages of not voting for non-Muslim leader. In Indonesia, that's the sentiment.
Yeah.
So, could you please answer that?
In history,
how in Nigeria?
In history of Islam, of Islamic civilization, we remember the case of Harun Rashid. In his time, there are many Christians and Jews who are in his parliament. And they are voted into his parliament. And they work with him in his parliament. And he's a Khalifa, one of the most higher level of Khalifa, who established what we call Darul Hikmah, where interfaith relationship encouraged the Jews, the Christians to write their books and a book of memory. Many book of memory of the Jewish memory that are wiped away were rewritten during Harun Rashid time. So if somebody talking out of emotions, yes, but there's nothing wrong who say you cannot vote or you cannot invite a non-Muslims into a political space and given a space to explore the best of it. It's not Islamic. I don't know any Islamic text that promote that. And I want to know, giving me a reference where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, don't give him authority. Don't give him power. Don't encourage him to do so. I don't know where it is. But we've seen where Muhammad have entrusted so many important things in the hand of non-Muslims, experts who know how to do that.
Okay. So it belongs to politicization of religions?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Now, how do you what is the difference between, I mentioned religion and faith. I've done. How do you guarantee if you divorce? How do you get your skin?
If you're divorced or if you're gone,
yeah,
would there be other Imam, Asafa, or other pastors?
Pastor won't answer that. How do you get your skill from to effectively deliver inclusive theology? I think I'm interested in that. You know why? There are two important things. Some people are here in the university because they just need a degree. They need the degree, that's why they come here. They have no vision. No what? No vision. They are going to school, let me go there so that I can have the certificate. So what do you want to do with the certificate? He or she don't know. So you go to university on a purpose. You are coming to a universal city. University is what? Universal city, where you develop your own tools to engage the universe. You are coming to a universal city to develop an experiment, develop your own tools of engaging the universe. So when you come after 4 years, you have an elementary tools to engage the universe. When you have your masters, you have a key certified tools to engage the universe. That's why if you finish, you say, you have experience of working? They say no, I don't want a new graduate. I want an experienced graduate. So by the time you have your master's, when you have your doctorate degree, yes, you are expert discipline in a certain field by which you can engage. And when you become a professor, it means you profess knowledge. Professor is a person who professes knowledge. You are a living encyclopedia. That's to be a professor. It means you are a living encyclopedia. You don't need to say, I want to go and look at my book before you respond to 1 or 2 questions on your field of discipline. So in the light of this, our experience for 22, almost 25 years now on this field, some of them were based on very difficult learning process. And we continue asking questions. We've traveled at least 60 countries I've traveled. He has traveled more than me.
Oh, he did more than me.
You know, he traveled more than me.
Imam, you went to some countries that I didn't go.
I went to Mecca, you went to Philippines. So therefore, we've traveled around the world over 60, now about 60 countries today. So experience of engaging and asking questions. And Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tell me one thing. He said, when you travel, it's half knowledge you receive. A person well-traveled receives 50% of his knowledge because there's something you don't learn in the classroom. They are not built on theories. They come from practical engagement in life. I will tell you, Ihsan, that some of the knowledge we develop over time are part of practical experiences. We are in Iraq, we saw how bad it is. We are in Somalia, we saw how worse it is. We are in Ireland, we saw how dangerous it is. We are in Southern Sudan before the war and before the nation was split. We moved across the two worlds. We know what it is. We've been to Bosnia, Herzegovina, former Yugoslavia. We saw what it is. So all this put together and asking people, engaging people, telling us what they go through in their own life and the solution that work for them and the solution that fail. We work across West and East Germany. Right now we have a project in Germany. Working across in Europe. So working with these different communities, we see different tools that have worked in the name of religion, in the name of race, in the name of ethnicity, in the name of political power. We are invited to engage people. And we saw what has failed. I think these are things that give us the mechanism. When we talk, we are talking from point of knowledge. We are talking from point of a deeper experiences. I don't want to call myself a professor.
You are.
I'm not.
Carry on.
I only have 3. I never go to university. He go to university. But I have 3 doctorate degree, honorary doctorate degree, 3. So perhaps, and people they make experiment on us and say, this guy's for doing this, he deserves our doctorate degree. The Glasgow University gave us 1. The Boston in Harvard gave us 1. One Open University in India gave us 1. So this is how we got doctorate, doctorate, doctorate. So I'm doctor without first degree in university. That is me. So don't count on the paper. Have the spirit that you want to learn, you want to understand. And the more question you did, the more research you did, the more deeper research and analysis on issues, the more, just pick one issue. For the women, for example, pick the issue of hijab. What is hijab? Why hijab? And across Muslim world, there are different phases of hijab. Can you do a special research on that? That is knowledge. Muslims never agree on what is jihad. Just the Muslim world. What actually is jihad? How do you do it? Special research. Come out with an outcomes that will be an authority because you have studied that. So these are just our response to. And how do you define success with Boko Haram? I pass it to my Oga.
Okay, thank you, Imam.
Whoa. When he has spoken, I don't know what to say again. But let me try. Our relationship is genuine. We have worked for the past 25 now. If we were faking, we would have gone our ways since. So it's genuine. But it does not mean we do not fight. We fight. Okay? But we agree quickly after the fight. We don't allow ourselves to go to bed for too long with the fight. Even if we are fighting now, you don't know. But we fight. And sometimes we create the fight ourselves so that we can test our brain and then resolve it again quickly. So that is to say, even a husband and a wife fight at home, but they don't go apart. They still come back and live again. Most of them. Yeah, Imam says some women can be sacked and some men can be sacked. But then, most people live together after the fight. Number 2, the tenure of the president. Nigeria is a delicately balanced state. If you meet the Muslims, they will say they are more in number.
We are the majority.
Yeah, Imam will always start that dialogue now. Can I finish my presentation? You see, that's how we disagree. Now, when you meet the Christian, they will say they are in majority. So it's usually, it retains the polity when this side gets the leadership, the other side gets the leadership. And there is no way in the country for now that Christian ticket will fly or Muslim ticket will fly. It's not going to work for now. So you have to have the other president and the other vice, because you need the votes of the others to be who you want to be. So that is that, and it's good for the country. In terms of replicating ourselves, yes, in the center we have about 34 people working now, both young men and young women. We have youth coordinator, advisor. We have women advisors, both Islamic and Christian matters. We hold equal seats in the office. And now we have started an institution. Hopefully some of you may come to Nigeria. It's an institute, International Institute for Interfaith Peace Building, which we will be doing models. In that way is to replicate ourselves more. But we want to tell you also that, nationally speaking, we are the first organization to bring the national leaders from the Sultan and the president of the Christian body down to the Imam in the street to meet in one hall and marshal out a roadmap for Nigeria. So that is to say, we are replicating ourselves. When we cease to exist, the institution will continue. It's not about Imam and myself alone. And he says, can you get people with convincing stories? Yes, they will listen to them. Because Nigeria have a lot of good examples, not our own alone. So right now there are some young people also going as pastor and imam around the country, the world. They are gone to US recently. They are also doing what we are doing. So the more, the merrier. The more, the merrier. So we are mentoring emerging interfaith groups in our country, not in Nigeria alone. Right now we are members of the African Union Advisory Committee, Steering Committee on Interfaith Dialogue. We advise the governments of Africa. So we are scaling up gradually. So continuity is there. Imam has told you about our institutions, yes. Technical support, yes. Sometimes we get funding from countries. Even Singapore had funded us before. And we went to Singapore with Imam looking for the organization that funded us. We didn't see them. Yes, they have packed up. But they gave us a lot of money. And we bought cars for the center, and we are using the car to travel to schools to start interfaith in 40 universities in Nigeria. But we didn't see them. We went to Singapore. They were not. I thought maybe it is Malaika and maybe angels send the money. Yeah, 100,000 euro, and we didn't see them again. So we are getting fundings like that. As we sit here today, let me assure you, we just received text from the Nigerian Army Resource Center. I have it in my phone. Just there now, we say we are in Singapore. They want us to train the army on interfaith. We are getting to the military to train them on interfaith. So it is scaling up gradually. And what we want here is that both in the military, both in government, both in schools, in the universities, be having inclusive theology of communication. In that way, you respect the other faith. The other faith will respect you. When you have developed that, avoid those that will cause pains. Don't say the thing you don't want others to say to you. Because if they say to you, it will hurt you. So don't say it. Once you do that, you will scale up this thing. Now, we are about 180 million Nigerians. We are not as many as you are. But at least we are growing. And they are saying in 2025, we may be more than you. Can you imagine? Because Imam has 4 wives and his last wife is expecting another twins.
No, I don't have 4.
Yeah. 3. He has 3 and he's looking for the 4th one. He has 21 children plus the 2 coming. 23. Very soon he will have a football team. So what I'm saying, I have only 3. Let me say about my own. So what I'm saying in excess, 3 children, my friend. I can't manage 1. How can I take 3? But Imam is very gifted. He treats them equally. So what I'm saying in essence is this. The population of Nigeria is growing rapidly, and we need to do something about how we maintain the peace in Nigeria. And we think you already have the population and you are maintaining peace. Please don't destroy this beautiful egg you have. Indonesia is a gift to the world. Indonesia is a gift majorly, let me put this thing again, to Muslim world. You know what? This is where you see coexistence. This is where you find peace. This is where you find people talking. But there may be intruders. They will bring you gospels and teaching, khutbah of hate, that will say, don't do with the other. One person, we told I'm ending now. We told Southern Sudan that South Sudan, as you get your independence, remember the minority. If you don't give the minority their space, one day that little minority will cause you a problem. And they did not. They marginalized the minority in Southern Sudan, and that's why the war started again in Southern Sudan. So don't underrate the very few that are not thinking like you. Please be inclusive with them. Don't tell them harsh words. Love them. Through love, you will win them to yourself. So what we share with you here is nothing is impossible. Skill, we got skill in Africa, we got skill in US, we went to South Africa, we learned in some institutions. But after we have started the work, we learn on the job. Not that we went to school deliberately to learn. No, we went to school to learn new things that we do not know. But each place we go, they say, what is the secret behind your coexistence? And very soon they will ask you here. Those sitting here, I see you going to the world as ambassadors of peace. I see you going to all over the world to teach the Indonesian model to the world. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
And sincerely, we disagree in so many issues. So many issues we disagree. Are you getting the point? Are you getting it? Yes, but I love him for the sake of Allah.
I love him for the sake of Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Are you getting it? So always make sure it is not about him. It's about seeking the face of God, the rahmah of Almighty Allah, by extending the best of you to people who doesn't look like you. Give them compassion, give them hope. It doesn't mean you are compromising at all. It doesn't mean you have to believe in him. He still have his Jesus Christ. And it's my Jesus Christ. You know, it's my Jesus Christ. You know, Nabi Isa is mine. It's not for him. You know that. My faith is incomplete without Jesus. You know that. As Muslims here, you know that. But still yet, he believes Jesus is God. I don't believe Jesus is God. He believes Jesus is the Son of God. I don't believe Jesus is the Son of God. He believes Jesus died on the cross. I don't believe Jesus died on the cross. He believes Jesus resurrected. I don't believe he died and resurrected. He believes Jesus will judge the world. I don't believe Jesus is judge the world. Only Allah will judge the world. So, however, we all believe in the messianic message of Jesus Christ, Masih.
Why did you do that?
Because Allah told me to believe that. Are we getting the point? He believed that Jesus Christ was one of the children of Abraham. He believed that. Why do you believe that?
Before Abraham, he was.
You see the question? So, and he believed Abraham is a role model of faith. For me, as a Muslim, فَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And for you believe, yes, Abraham was. Why do you believe Abraham is a man of faith? He's what?
The father of faith.
This is our common bond. We have area we agree, we have area we disagree. Area we agree, yes, we should keep it on, sustain it and promote it. Area we disagree, we should massage it. Don't throw it to the carpet, but let them know that yes, I don't agree with you on this. We don't. Thank you very much.
Reflexology and massage.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much, Imam Asafa and Pastor James. This is a very enlightening. Can we please give a big round of applause once again to our speakers? Your love to one another is an inspiration for us, and thank you for your kind words reminding us that Indonesia is a gift to the world and that we need to work hard to keep it that way. And thank you for the inspirations. I'm sure that we are all in agreement that this has been a tremendous evening, a very enlightening process for us, and I hope that we come out of this room with more courage and more commitment to become the peace builders of Indonesia. Yes? Thank you very much, Pastor, Imam, and we wish you much success with your work and also the program in Indonesia. We know that you have come to some obstacles, but we hope that the journey will continue in a good and positive note, and bring changes and transformation also to Indonesia. And with that, I will give the floor back to Bayu, to the MC. Should I ask them to? Okay. Thank you very much, Pastor.
Imam stand here because picture with the first lady, very good spirit of Indonesia. Yes, great spirit, great soul. I will put this back home and let the first daughter is one of the daughters of the president. Oh, the first daughter of the former president, the first lady.